Jaworski down, but man, it doesn't. I've got the best in the business. You thought my voice is good. Well, I've got the man with the sweetest baritone voice. You know him. He's even, you're not allowed to say what he says because he's got it copyrighted. But the legendary Michael Buffer joining us for a couple of minutes right here on Radio Row. And thanks for taking the time to sit down with us and be a part of what we got going on, Michael.
Dave, my pleasure. After hearing your voice now in my headphones, I'm like, oh my God, I got to compete with this guy. Great voice. Come on,
well,
Dave.
Thank you. How did you start? I mean, you've been in this business for a long time, but obviously to get that voice known, especially early on competing, how did you get where you got?
I was making a living as a model, and it sort of led to doing a few commercials in the Philadelphia area where I was born and raised. And I'm watching the fights in the early 80s, and all these fights were in Atlantic City those days, 3-4 nights a week. A ring announcer gave a split decision score. My oldest son, Michael Patrick, not a junior, but Michael Patrick Buffer. He's like 13 at the time. He says, "Dad, you could do that," because he'd seen me do a few commercials or something. As a sports fan and a boxing junkie, I'm like, yeah, it's a 60-minute drive. Maybe I can get my foot in the door. And I finally got a chance to do it, $150. And I'd get to watch the fight, which is really what I wanted to do. I remember the first time I did it, it was like Flop Sweat City, handshaking, and I offered to buy those recordings from everybody. But I got my foot in the door, like I said, and it just kind of took off.
Where did you come up with your catchphrase? I mean, it wasn't like, hey, let's get ready to fight, or don't punch below the waist, or like, where did you craft,
Dave, there was no such thing as a catchphrase. And the only reason I started it, not to bring attention to myself, because when I first started doing this in 82, 40 years now, it was the electronic age, where the fighters come to the ring with all the music and the lights. So the crowd is all amped up. Then the ring announcers were introducing everybody in the boxing commission. Then the 4 doctors, 3 doctors, 3 judges, the referee, and if it's a world title fight, then that president and his supervisor. They were killing the crowd. I mean, it literally wiped out the electricity that was in the air when the fighters came to the ring. So I wanted something that would give you that gentlemen start your engines moment. Like, okay, the race is going to begin. Okay, now you're going to meet the stars of the show, the fighters. And I tried, ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts, or man your battles. Nothing there. And the great Muhammad Ali was known for his, at the weigh-in and the press conference, he was, "I'm so pretty, rumble, young man, rumble." So that little bit of a phrase was there, and I started to say, let's get ready to rumble, and it just evolved into what you hear today.
We see in movies, we see everywhere, but I was amazing to see you and that electricity that you brought to these. I mean, it's not like those playoff games needed the extra, but every time you did it, bam, we had either an overtime game or some magic thing. I mean, what was it like to kind of change your world a little bit and be part of that NFL world?
That actually started like 25 years ago. I think the first time I actually did it for an NFL game was for Jerry Jones and the Cowboys, and when they played the Packers in a conference championship, and it just kept. And I've done it for the Titans and my Philadelphia Eagles, San Diego. It just done it all. The Rams when they were in St. Louis, when Vermeil was there, and the Packers. It's just been a thrill. But then I've also opened the World Series, Stanley Cup finals, NBA finals, and NASCAR, Indy 500. It's just been a great run, and it's a blessing. It's fun. I'm a fan.
Are you going to get an Elon Musk rocket and do something from outer space? Let's get ready to blast off!
I've worked in every continent in the world except Antarctica, and I just don't think we're going to build a stadium.
Yeah, their soccer team's not very good either.
They're not doing well at all.
All right, well, you're here for a reason, too. We have a wonderful, lovely lady behind you showing us.
Jen.
Hi, Jen.
There she is.
Pop over here. I want you to see what she has here. Come step over here and take a look at. So what is this belt, and what are you representing here today?
Triller and Triller Fight Club presents Triad Combat, and it's a combat event where boxer meets MMA fighter, and they've adjusted the boxing rules, and it gives the MMA fighter and boxer they're meeting on more of a level playing ground. The ring is a triangle, the corners are sharper, and it keeps the guys out in the middle of the ring. The gloves are made so that their fingers and hands can work, but they still are used like a punching glove. The MMA guy can grab the shoulders, grab the arms, manipulate. There's no choking or headlocks or anything, but it sort of balances out the field of combat.
And who's your assistant today?
This is Jen.
Thanks for being a part of this. I was a wrestler, so do you guys feel like you might want to sign me up and be a part of this kind of thing? Like, I can come out of retirement. I got a little bit of
Sounds
stuff in
good
me.
to
Yeah.
me, man.
Hey, it'd be a good gimmick. I mean, sex sells, so right.
Right.
So, you making a pick? I mean, are we going to see you on the field for the Super Bowl?
No. The NFL comes in, they take over, and their plans have been like made for 90 days in advance.
Oh,
but as for a pick, and I've said this in the other interviews, not just to be political and not want to offend either side or anything. I can't make a pick, but I will predict defense is going to win this game. In other words, somebody has to stop. Each team has a knockout punch. Defense has to come up, and Cincinnati, they're going to have to stop Cooper Kupp and Odell and whatever happens, and Stafford being able to hit those guys. Akers is back as a running back. And for Cincinnati, they're going to have to step up and do what they did in Kansas City. That was unbelievable. 18 points down, and for 35 minutes, they then only gave up 3 points and came back.
Yeah.
And that was defense. You give that guy the ball, and he's going to win.
Well, it's been an honor to have you here. And real quick, I've always wondered, like, how do you copyright a catchphrase?
Register trademark, just like intellectual property. You have to show to the feds in DC that it's usage and that you use it and you make a living from it and you basically own it. And you get a trademark. It's been a trademark for almost 30 years.
All right. Well, hold on a second. I have $20 right here. I'll give you that. You
nice.
Take that. If we can look at the camera, can we do a catchphrase together in 3, 2, 1? That's something I've always dreamt of doing. So look right here in the camera right there. We'll go in 3, 2,
I want to hear from you.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jay Black, who just passed away. Remember Jay Black and the Americans used to hit that note? You just topped them. Dave,
can we get one
job.
from you?
Great job. I can't hold it that long, but now for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble.
That's the way to do it, everybody. Thank you so much, Michael Buffer. Friend, I pissed off everybody here in Radio Row now with my loud voice, but thank you for joining us. Best of luck. I look forward to this Triad Combat. It sounds pretty cool.
Combat from Triller.
Yeah.
Available on the Fight Club and Fight TV.
Where are you watching the game?
I'm going to just stay home and watch the game. I'm a fan, brother. And that means I don't want somebody walking up and say, hey, you need another beer or get away from the screen, man. No.
And the commercials. Got to watch the commercials.
Yeah,
All right. Thank you so much, Michael Buffer. Hey, that was a dream come true for me. And there's my resume tape all right there. So if you need somebody for when in 20 or 30 years, when he's not doing this anymore, we'll see if I can still get these pipes ready and get nice and deep and baritone. So, Michael, thanks a lot for being here.
Great job, man.
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to be here with you. And this is Dave Stevens on the Radio Row. You don't know what you're going to get. We just kind of ad lib and make it up as we go. And he actually left with my $20. So I got to see if I can go get it back. You're watching Ability Media Disability Channel right here live on, what are we? Well, we're streaming everything we can. So stay with us. We got more guests coming up. I'm Dave Stevens. We'll check you out later.